You probably know that feeling when you are having a bad day. You know the ones where you oversleep by 2 hours and you had this big to-do list of stuff that you wanted to get done. Maybe it was for work, maybe it was for uni, and just none of it's happening. And you've played video games for the last 5 hours to try and numb the pain, and it just doesn't seem to be working. You can tell that the day is just an absolute write-off. Right. That doesn't sound like a good situation to be in. So, how did this happen, and what are you going to do about it? Hopefully I can help you with that. I have had more than my fair share of days that sound exactly like that one. And over the last couple of years, I've experimented with a bunch of different ways that I've found really helpful to getting me out of that negative spiral. It's worth saying that this is all stuff that's worked for me, but I'm just some guy on the internet, not a mental health professional. If you are in a seriously bad place, however, please do go get professional help. You absolutely deserve it. I'm not the person to give that to you. Anyways, on with the video. So what we're going to do is start freeing you up to actually take action. Step one of that is accepting that something is definitely going on. You're having a bad time. Maybe you're going to feel like this for the rest of the day. Maybe you're going to feel like it for the rest of the week. Possible that you're going to feel like it for the rest of the month or even longer. You're just going to have to accept that. I'm sorry, it really sucks, but you are going to feel bad for a little bit. You're going to feel better in the future, but right now you're feeling bad. You've got to accept it. It can be pretty easy when you feel bad to dive into some coping mechanism that helps you ignore the fact that you feel bad. Video games are a good one for me. Instagram, that does it too. I know there are some people out there who dive into work to ignore the fact they're feeling bad. Honest to God, I wish that was me. I would get so much more done. So at this stage, you're probably thinking, hang on a second. I'm feeling bad and I'm watching this video to let me know how to feel better. And the first step is to just accept that I'm feeling bad. That doesn't feel good. I understand that feeling, and I'm not asking you to accept your fate. I'm just asking you to accept the fact that you cannot control when you have a bad day. There's a phrase that I like to come back to, which I've heard from a few sources, but I think it has its roots in a Hindu text. The line is, "You are entitled to your actions, but not to their consequences." Or to simplify it even more, you can't choose what happens, but you can choose what you do. Step two is setting your priorities. A lot of the time, I find it difficult to make myself feel better when I'm having a bad day because I am not my highest priority. Sometimes it's something that I've got to do for work. Sometimes it's making sure that I look for new clients to be editing for. Sometimes it's like an obligation I have to family or friends or a partner, something like that. Something I tend to do to help me deal with this problem is write a big old list down. Just spend 10 minutes. I tend to type it up on my laptop. Just write down everything that is overwhelming me at the moment, everything I have to deal with, all the things that I feel like I'm meant to be doing or should be doing. Just get them out of my brain onto a piece of paper, because as soon as they're not swirling around in my head, they become a lot more manageable and easy to deal with. Once you've written them down, it can be a lot easier to engage with each individual thing and realize that the consequences of that thing not being dealt with are often not quite as high as you think they are. At this stage, try and work out the things that you absolutely have to deal with right now and just let everything else go. Maybe you're gonna have time to come back to it later today, but not essential, leave it be. Higher priority is taking care of yourself. Next, we've got to move on to step 3, which is make sure that you are taking care of yourself. And I think my younger self is over there and wants to chip something in here, so let's just have a quick listen. Yeah, I'm really good at taking care of myself, actually. Always have been. When I'm having a bad day, you know, like all those bad feelings just creeping on into my brain, PlayStation comes on, play Assassin's Creed, usually, till like 2 in the morning. Oh, and put some garlic bread in the oven as well. Love me some garlic bread. Really hits the spot, you know? Lets me forget about my troubles. What? It is for people like you that I am making this video. There's definitely a place for self-soothing behaviors like eating foods that you like and playing video games. I do that kind of thing a lot. Currently, I'm playing through Ghost of Tsushima. It's great. That's very nice. It's a good time. But overindulging in those behaviors isn't actually taking care of yourself. It will make you feel worse in the long run. I always used to think of these things as self-care, like treating myself was a good thing to be doing, and a little bit of it, sure, but overindulging in the long run is just gonna cause you more pain. Sometimes taking care of yourself means doing the less fun option in the short term so that you can feel better in the long term. Here are a few things that I do that I find help me. Taking control of my space. I set a 5-10 minute timer and I just tidy. Often it's just making sure that all the junk is off my desk. Sometimes it's perfectly ordering all the things that are on the side in the bathroom. Sometimes it's wiping down the surfaces in the kitchen, doing the washing up, that kind of thing. Doing a really small amount of this just makes me feel better, like I can take some control over my life. I can wrestle some order from the chaos. And that may sound very dramatic for 5 minutes worth of tidying, but it's so true. I highly recommend. Sometimes I like planning things out for the following day so that if everything in life seems too overwhelming at the moment, at the very least I know that there are 2 or 3 things that I'm gonna manage to do tomorrow. That's very helpful. I like using post-it notes, sticking a couple of post-it notes up of things that I'm gonna do tomorrow so that I don't have to be thinking about them now. Good way to clear the brain. Sometimes I'll eat a salad. Very basic, I know. There's one in my fridge at the moment. A meal deal salad from Sainsbury's. Just because it means that I don't have to actually make the meal, but I still get to eat something healthy. Doing exercise is very helpful to me as well. Sometimes I will, with superhuman effort, manage to get myself to go out and have a run, which is really good for me. I don't do it very often though, because it is such a struggle. It's especially a struggle at the moment actually, because of how cold the weather's been. The cold weather has also made doing things like having a shower a bit of a struggle for me. Winter, it's a bit of a pain. Probably the best thing though is to spend a bit of time mindfully doing something that I enjoy. So this might be playing the guitar. It might be playing on the PlayStation. Just as long as I'm making sure to actually savor the experience and appreciate the experience for what it is, rather than just using it as something to deaden feelings of stress and anxiety and depression. Bad reason to do fun things. Do fun things because they're fun. I've recently been thinking a bit about advent calendars in relation to this. I'm actually filming this section of this video in December, so I'm currently opening advent calendars. Recently, I had a little stretch where I missed a few days in a row, so I got to have loads of chocolates all at once. But I noticed that I opened it up and I had one chocolate, best chocolate in the world. Second chocolate I had, pretty nice. Third chocolate, really should have just saved it for another day. This is how I like to think about doing things that I enjoy. If I play half an hour of Ghost of Tsushima, great. If I play an hour and a half, good. If I play 3 hours straight, not great. Not a good time. It's making my life worse by the time I get to the end of it. When mindfully doing something that I enjoy, I tend to try and avoid things that have a tendency to spread out. So watching YouTube tends to spread out. Stuff like Instagram tends to spread out, and I don't enjoy it for more than 2 minutes anyway. Yeah, so YouTube, social media, video games, probably not the best choice for this kind of activity. I prefer watching a movie or like a really good episode of really good TV. So we have step 1 of accepting what's going on, step 2, prioritizing yourself, and step 3, actually taking care of yourself. Doing these should hopefully ground you, make you feel a little less terrible, and make it easy to move on to step 4, which is ask, why did this happen? Now, this is a question that I can't answer for you. There are a million reasons why you might be feeling bad today. For me, it's often because I feel like I have an obligation that I'm not fulfilling, that I've not done enough work, that I've not been trying hard enough, that there's something else better that I should be doing with my time. Sometimes I feel like I don't have enough control over my life, or that I'm not talented enough. For you, it might be something completely different. You might feel like you've been working too much. You might be feeling like you're a bad partner or friend. You might feel like you don't have a clear purpose or like the world is out to get you. I have been there. It sucks. I'm sorry. So if you have the capacity right now, maybe think about how you got into this situation. What were the reasons that led you here? And then look at that answer without judgment and see if there's anything hiding in it that is potentially unhelpful. For example, I often tie my worth to the quality of films that I make. That can leave me feeling really bad on a day. I'm currently trying to separate my value as a human being from my ability to make films, and also from the quantity of work that I do. Both of those things just leave me feeling bad. And so decreasing the amount that I think like that will hopefully decrease the number of really bad days that I have. Seems to be working so far. I'll keep you posted if it works in the future. If you have some belief like this that's limiting you and giving you bad days that you don't want to have, you don't have to deal with it now. You've got enough on your plate dealing with the bad day. Just get yourself through this, and maybe when you're feeling a little bit more up to it, just have a think. See what's holding you back, see what's providing you with your bad days, and see if you can deal with it. Even if it's just by a few degrees, it can be really helpful to steer yourself in a better direction, a direction with less bad days ahead of you. If you want to watch more videos like this one, that's great. I want to make more videos like this one. I feel like I have some things to teach about filmmaking, but I also feel like I've struggled with some things in the last few years, and across the process of struggling, I feel like I've made some discoveries. So if you want to watch those, feel free to subscribe, click the notification bell. I might have already made them, so you can look on my channel for more videos if they're there. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a nice day. I'm terrible at saying goodbye, so I'll just cut to black. Step 2 is prioritizing your stealth. Prioritizing your stealth. Clearly, I'm a rogue in D&D.